Okay, we're back at Kalamalka Fly Fishers Thursday night fly tying. Tonight we're going to do a pumpkin head. I'll show you a few little tricks on materials and stuff. So first thing you're going to do is put the bead on to suit the size. This one is a size 10. So we're just going to put the thread on there. Give it a spin the thread a little bit, flatten it out. I'm going to wind it down to about there. Okay, I'm going to wind it back. Yeah, just past center, something like that. Now, we're going to use a marabou for the tail. Now, this is the marabou. Now, this is a pretty good feather, this one. It's a lighter color, this one's a dark color. I just want to show you something here. If you get this marabou, the part you want is this nice fluffy stuff. But as you can see on, sometimes you get this knotted stuff. So just take your fingernail and run it up there like that a few times, and you get the nice fluffy stuff out. So you can salvage a lot of these feathers rather than throw them away. See, it works pretty well. It takes a few seconds to do it, and you end up with a really nice fluffy guy. So anyway, I'm going to use this guy, a little lighter color. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those down. See, these are all pretty good. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the stem off right in the center like so. You don't need that. So now you got this part. I'm just going to pull it forward like that. And right where the stem was cut off, I'm trying to break that off. Sometimes it's a little difficult. There we go. Okay, so basically got that. Now, it's a pretty fluffy tail. You don't have to be that fluffy, but we want about the length of the shank, like so. So I would just hold it here where the thread is. I'm going to cut it off here. And we're going to tie it right there. Tie it towards the bead 3 or 4 times. You just check. Now that length is probably a little bit longer than I want. So I would just undo this, move it forward, and tie it back on. And you can check it again. It's still a little bit long, but we'll be alright. You can tie this onto the back, to the bend, like so. Okay, you just tidy this up a bit. That should be not too bad. And if it's a few fibers sticking out, you can pluck them out. I don't like cut off with the scissors. Some people do. It makes a really square back. This way you get a nice gradual. One little stray one there. Something like so. So that's the tail. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the rib on. Now the rib is just a copper wire, like this here. It's fairly small. Don't need a heavy wire for this. So we're just going to tie it on to the tail. Now, one thing you can do with the copper wire, if you run out of copper wire, you could basically just get some wire and strip it. Now this one's quite stiff and it's quite heavy. But you can get something like this, which is a cable. Strip the wires out of it. This one has silver. That's smaller than what this is, I would say. And then you can get copper, smaller. That's even smaller. Silver, quite small. So just find the size you need. And this size is about what works. For this, it's basically just to hold the hackle together. That's about all it does. Okay, next we need the hackles. Now, hackles can be interesting. Here's an orange hackle, dyed orange. A lot of feathers here are not very good. take one like this and pull them down. That's all fine. A little bit long for this particular fly. As you get near the back, you can see how they stick together. So you could use these front ones, would be okay. Now another one you could get, now this one's a little bit darker color. It's a smaller one, but it's not quite long enough either. But you see how nice they separate, so that's a pretty good hackle. And then you get something like this. Looks great. A little bit different color, but now if you were to stretch it out, you see how those fibers all stick together? In comparison to this, not a good hackle. So you wouldn't use that one. So I'm using one off this large hackle. I found hackle somewhere here. Off of this one here. I got it prepared here. Just gonna pull it off. Better length. As you can see, all these fibers are really good. As you get closer to the stem, they start to stick together. So we're going to use these end parts with better length and better for the hackle. So I'm just going to pull these all back. Then I'm going to tie them by the tip with the shiny side up. Like so. I'll just get this out of the way. Okay, next thing is going to be the dubbing. Now you can make a dubbing loop with this if you like, and stuff it, well, and spin it, and you'll get your dub. Now another way is to simply twist it like this. Just dampen your fingers a wee bit and just twist it onto your thread. And you can simply wrap it around. And you can add a little bit more. The problem with the dubbing loop is if you get it too much on it, then you got to pull it apart or cut it off, whatever. Nope, didn't quite get enough there again. No problem. So get this on there like so. All right, like that. Okay, the next thing is going to be putting the hackle on. Okay, what is this thing? Okay, okay. All right. Now I'm just gonna put a half hitch in here. Then I can take my hackle, and I'm gonna put the hackle on the same direction as I did the dubbing. The reason I do that is because it'll go down into the dubbing and the fibers will stand out better. Let's make them stick up. Now what you can do here too, which helps, pull these fibers back on the stem as best you can. And then when you tie it on, whoops, it works a little better to cut it off. You don't trap so many fibers that way. Okay, and then we can just trim that off like so. Like that. Okay, now what we're going to do, I'm going to put half hitch behind the bead, my thread out of the way. Then we're going to spin this on here. Now we're going to go in opposite direction. This rib is to really strengthen the stem on the feather. So we'll just twist it off. And then we can whip finish that there. So, and you can build it up a little bit behind the bead there. Okay, now before we cut the thread off, what I like to do is get your little Velcro brush and brush out all those fibers that got stuck into the wire. and also pluck out some of that body material, fluff him up a little bit. And there you have him. Now we can cut them off. This is a really great tool for cutting it. See, now I can go through here and not worry about cutting the hackles off. Works good. Just borrow it from your wife. Don't tell her. Then a little bit of soup. Ooh, had some right there. That's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll catch you next time.